Hey everybody, it's Nathaniel Avila reporting from Dallas County, and who am I with today?
Hey, it's Tanya.
Do you remember
Hi.
what do you remember what we're talking about today?
Something to do with England.
Yep. We're going to talk about the Great Sheep Panic. Ooh.
Oh yes, the sheep.
Yes.
The ones the Scots can't be near.
Yeah, what?
Don't worry about it. Other people will get that joke.
Okay. So, the Great Sheep Panic, also known as the Great Sheep Panic of 1888, or the mysterious Oxfordshire Sheep Panic of 1888, was an event that occurred on November 3rd, 1888, across southern England. So, on the evening of November 3rd, 1888, at about 8 o'clock, thousands of sheep had, by simultaneous impulse, burst from their barns, fields, and dwellings, and had been found the next morning, wildly scattered, some of them still panting in terror under hedges, and many crowded into corners of fields, some miles from the fields they had been left in the previous evening. So what do we think about that? What happened there?
It's no telling what could have happened. We mean aliens, the Scots, the Irish.
Do you think it was the Scots or the Irish?
You know, when you get drunk enough, anything looks good.
They didn't eat them. They just scattered them around.
I didn't say it had to be eaten in that sense.
Oh, okay. But in the end, it had spread over 200 square miles. Now, the Times reported on November 20th, 1888, that malicious mischief was out of the question because 1,000 men could not have frightened and released all these sheep. So, there goes that theory. So, it wasn't a prank. It must have been something else. What do you think? Do you think it was still a prank? Even though the Times said it probably wasn't because of 1,000 men couldn't have done that?
Yeah, it could have been oh no, they couldn't be a prank. I mean, having that much going on depending on if it was one area or a lot at the same time, that would be interesting to try to figure out to do.
I mean, it was spread over 200 square miles, and that's a lot of miles.
Yeah, that's a lot for a lot of sheep and them all in that vicinity to be scared in that way.
Oh, yeah. Now, interestingly, another panic occurred in 1889, a year later, in Berkshire, in southern England, not far from Reading. So it happened again. So, what do you think that's about?
That could be about anything, per se. I mean, but if it happens once, okay, interesting. If it happens twice, that's a coincidence and something's wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have happened ever again. Do you want to hear what the scientists have to say?
Really, scientists? We'll bring a scientist into this. Yeah, sure. Let's hear it.
So, in 1921, the scientific journal Nature noted that on November 3rd, 1888, had been an intensely dark night with occasional flashes of lightning, and explained that the panics have often occurred, for sheep are notoriously timid and nervous animals. So there it is. It was just flashes. That's it. And sheep, they're cowards, so of course they would do that.
That does not explain that many sheep on that amount of time, space, and stuff for them to all be scared at one time.
Yeah.
Especially if the weather does not show that there's going to be lightning or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? That's pretty much all we have on the Great Sheep Panic. That's pretty much it. What do you think actually happened to these sheep?
I mean, it's... Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, my phone is saying, do you need to use your microphone? I don't know. That's why I double check. My thought is that something came and visited and scared the sheep. for all we know is that in that time frame, some people may not have kept count of sheep, and whatever came and scared the sheep was running around trying to get sheep, which caused them to panic.
Do you think it was aliens?
It could be aliens, but I don't think it was man. It could be a distortion of time and space. Actually,
that could be it. Yeah.
It could be TARDIS. It could be anything.
Yep. I mean, the Times ruled out human involvement, but the scientists say that it was just they were just scared, bro. That's it. It's not that deep, but I think it's very deep. Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
I mean, isn't that what we're about to an extent? It's just saying how far things can go.
Yep, exactly. And that's pretty much the end of it. There really isn't much on the Great Sheep Panic other than there was a sheep panic, and that's that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have any other final thoughts on it?
Final thoughts? Having that many sheep in that many areas just panicking, something has to have happened for it to go that was not of natural causes. So I'm going to lean towards the non-natural causes to frighten sheep. And for it to happen twice in so many years, that is not a coincidence. That means they were looking for something specific.
What were they looking for? Did they find it?
Well, if it only happened twice, the second time they did find it.
Oh, okay. Were they looking for wool?
They could have been looking for wool, or they tested out wool and needed more wool. Well, it's not saying they were sheared. So
that's true. So
I don't know what they were looking for. Maybe a pet, seeing who might come and everyone's hiding from them. No telling. But that's where I'm thinking my end of the story is then. Something was coming to look, and on their second time about, they found what they were looking for.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think it is probably something not human related. Definitely something maybe on the more unnatural side, because all these sheep spreading over such a large distance, I don't think would naturally happen. That's why it raised so many eyebrows. But yeah, I guess it's one of those things we'll never know, because this is like 200 years old, like 150 years old. So,
yeah, and if they didn't keep a record if it happened any other time after that, well, we'll never know.
Exactly. Well, that's pretty much it. This is a short one today, and I've been Nathaniel Avila.
And I'm Hanya.
Yep, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to a Vision podcast, home of wacky talkies, The Kingdom, Evil Exists, and many more.